First Watch with Sheriff Mark Daniels on KWCD Bisbee Sierra Vista. Hosted by Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
And welcome to your Friday. I'm Grady Butler. With me is Carol Kappas and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
Well, let's dip back first to the 4th of July.
What a great celebration. Cochise County stood up for the 4th of July to celebrate our nation's birthday, and I had a good time. And I know the community did too, going around all the community. Started off in Palominas, their parade. I mean, it's one of the best parades around. Let's just be real. I mean, just the old country parade that people are just happy to be out there. It's just great. And then after that, I stopped at the Palominas Church right there at Palominas Road 92, and they did a dedication for two events. One where the old road highway used to go through, and where Coronado came across the border years ago, back in the 1800s, as he explored America. And so it was a really, really neat event there. I spoke at that. I told Mr. Stoner, Dale Stoner, who put that together from the church down there, Pastor Stoner. He did a very nice job of building that monument and then putting it all together, that event. And thanks for everybody coming out for that. But I told him I got to be at the Bisbee Parade by 11. So I left there at 2011. Commander Bradshaw had me in the back of the parade, so we all got there about maybe 5 minutes before it started. So that's how quick things were. Did the Bisbee Parade, well attended. It's amazing how big that parade is in Bisbee. That's kind of like the parade. Went there, went back to Sierra Vista, and then went to Benson up at Lions Park for their festivities up there. And got home about 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and it was like, now it's Mark's time. Now it's Mark. So Nikki and I met with our kids and over at the fireworks and just kind of kicked back. But what a great day of celebration. And I saw some comments. I got to say this about the fireworks. First of all, thanks to the Rotarians that put that together. That's always been a Rotarian show in partnership with the city and others. But I think Fort Huachuca is big involved in that too. But they put fundraisers together to do the fireworks. But I saw people complaining about the fireworks. I'm like, it's free. It's free. And granted, some shows are better than others every year, but the bottom line, it brought the community together. We all celebrated. Thank you to the Rotarians out there.
I saw a whole bunch of tailgating action going on, and that's a way to do it. Just pop up a tent and have a good time.
It was, and that people there is no assigned parking in that field right next to the Domingo Pius and that park out there where they shoot the fireworks. But people just go into the weeds and brush, and the bigger the truck, the better it is, I guess. But no, it's just a neat event. I mean, just getting out there's a little hectic with all the traffic, but I tell you, it was nice to see everybody in high spirits.
We also had a nomination for one of our deputies for the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, and he was representing the Cochise County Sheriff's Office going up there, but we were proud to provide that nomination to Deputy Bronstein.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his stats. Deputy Bronstein, just an amazing young deputy that's out there keeping our streets safe, keeping our community safe, and I looked at his numbers. I mean, the amount of traffic stops, the amount of DUIs, impaired drivers that endanger all of us, you name it, and just the number of arrests. I mean, he's out there doing the job that he was hired to do. So congratulations, Deputy Bronstein, and thanks for serving for the Sheriff's Office.
On our Facebook page, you're going to find an article about SAT and the Sheriff's Assist Team and what they do. It's everything from neighborhood watches to house checks when people are on vacation and all of the things that they do behind the scenes for the Sheriff's Office. And it's a great way to give them a shout-out for everything that they do.
They do. And a little history on the Sheriff's Assist Team. They were put together by Sheriff Deaver. He came to me back in the day. I was a lieutenant, said, I want my own volunteer corps. I said, Sheriff, how do you want it to look like? And he gave me some ideas, and he picked and selected Ron Slider, who had the feel-good corner of Sierra Toyota. Him and Judy were the owners. So Ron and I came together, and we put our ideas together, and didn't always agree. But he went to the sheriff, and I lost. But the bottom line, at the end of the day, the SAT team is an amazing organization with so much passion driven. I mean, they do it free of charge, from escorts to veterans to you name it. I asked John Black. John Black, we talked about him last week, just hit his 20 years. John took over the SAT team in around 2010, 2011. But he's been with us, like I said, 20 years. And so we took him to lunch yesterday to recognize him. But thanks to all our SAT, Sheriff's Assist Team, for doing all they do, from the neighborhood watches, the volunteer, or the funeral escorts for the veterans, and then search and rescue. I mean, they had a busy weekend.
That's what I was going to bring up next. So you also have your volunteers with search and rescue, and they are always crazy busy. You know, they won an award last weekend at the park for an event that they had there for the canines, and then they had the Charlie the dog story that just went viral.
Of course it
So
did.
thank you so much to our search and rescue, but that was a critical type of a call out.
Yeah, we have, combined with all our volunteers from our reserve deputies, other miscellaneous volunteers, over 100 volunteers that serve our mission. And it's impressive. And these are community members that some are still in the profession or working some kind of job. You know, we've had doctors and others. But they come and give their volunteer time to the sheriff's office to help this community better. And so, no, I'm so impressed with search and rescue. And all weekend I kept saying we toned out for, I think they had a recovery. They had that rescue, and then they found Charlie out there, and which is a feel-good story. It really is, with a sad situation because Charlie's owner was found deceased. And so, again, return Charlie over to the family and stuff. But again, it's actually I brought a little bit of positive to that story. I mean, when you find somebody who's perished out in the desert, and then you find a dog that you know you can do something for the dog, and so there's a little bit of hope there. But my prayers for the Charlie's owner. She was out of California, and we're working that investigation too.
Yeah, and so just if people don't know, you know, Charlie was with his owner, and she passed in a really remote area, and search and rescue were able to like get their rodeo britches on and go ahead and get that poor little guy taken care of. Got to the Wilcox office, the Wilcox Animal Shelter, and then after notification of next of kin, then a son from back east was catching a plane to come all the way to Arizona to pick up Charlie. So we're really happy because, you know, again, we got to give a shout out to the people in our communities who, or outside of our communities, who follow our Facebook, and we had so many offers to adopt that dog.
Yeah, it's just so nice. And like I said, Charlie's going home. He's going back home, and that's the most positive part of this story.
And speaking of dogs, the Tombstone Animal Shelter is going to have a rabies clinic tomorrow, and that's something we need to get out to the public so they take advantage of it.
We hear so many requests, you know, about those rabies clinics, the vet outreach services for animals. A lot of people can't afford that, but it's such a vital service. So, Carol, when is this?
It's going to be tomorrow, and the Tombstone Animal Shelter, it's going to be in their parking lot, and it's a short amount of time. So if you have your $20 and you got to get your animals vaccinated, which you should, 9 to 10 is the vaccination portion of it, but they're also offering chipping services. So you can get your animals chipped for an additional $20, and the chipping portion, because it takes a little bit longer, is going to go until about noon. So if you have any questions, give the Tombstone Animal Shelter a call, but try to make it over there if you need to have your animals vaccinated.
Especially the chipping part. I want to highlight that because we find so many animals that we can't get them back to the owners because we don't know who they are. You chip it, we can get your dog back.
4th of July is a prime example.
Yes.
How many animals got loose? If you have that microchip inside of your animal, they're able to scan it and they can tell who the owner is.
Very much so.
And there was an armed robbery this week.
There was, and we don't get a lot of this, but unfortunately we had one a couple nights ago, early in the morning, where 4 individuals wearing masks went into a home illegally, forced their way in. And we're still working that investigation. Again, these are tough cases. I mean, we don't have a lot of leads, but trust me, we're coming. We're going to find out who did this because this is something that we don't want to make as, they got away with it. Hope they don't do it again. No, that's a horrible approach. We're doing everything we can to find these 4 individuals and hold them to justice. I'll say that right now.
And super, super busy over in the Wilcox area. In addition to Charlie and the deceased female, we also had a fire at a very, very popular spot, Coronado Wineries.
Yeah, and that hit the media, hit the social media, and Wilcox is the vineyards of Cochise County, and to see something like that, if you saw that on the photos of that, the video of that, that was a pretty horrific sight. It really was. So we're investigating that. We're still in the midst of all that investigation too. It's been a busy week for our investigative team and our deputies out there. But again, we haven't released the calls yet because we're still working it, but that's coming.
And also we have an update on the San Simon case that was taking place at a rest area.
Yeah, this was a truck driver here months back in February, I believe it was, that stopped at the San Simon rest area at 10 o'clock at night, was accosted called 911. You hear the altercation, got disconnected, called back, and from there it went silent, which means the individual beat him down. He's been on life support, critical condition since that time, and sadly this week he passed away.
The family, they made the conscious decision that with medical intervention notwithstanding, there was nothing that they could do. So they waited till his 59th birthday to go ahead and discontinue any additional efforts.
And I know the family has become very, very close to the sheriff's office, especially my major crimes team. And I want to give course on Nylander from Channel 4 News. He's been very passionate about this story, making sure that the word's out there. And last but not least, a shout out to my major crimes team, all the stuff we're talking about here in this case. But they have tracked this. Think about this is a transient community at a truck stop, and we have very little, no cameras and stuff up there at that truck stop, which, again, I continue to say we need cameras at every truck stop, at every arrest area. But my guys put that together with everything they could put forward and found out who did this. Went back east, did a search warrant back in Pennsylvania, I believe it was. And the individual that we're looking for obviously knew, fled the country. So we're working everything we can to get him back, to bring him back to justice. So we're not giving that up. And I talked to our sergeant this week on that case, and we're doing everything we can, every influence we have to get that individual back into our country, back into Cochise County to stand trial for this. We have an indictment for him for this crime.
So you hosted a group. It was a really large group, bigger than I thought, the Alliance to Combat Transnational Threats.
Yes, ACTT. And it's a group that's really unique to Arizona, where all your federal leadership, your U.S. Attorney, FBI Director, HSI Director, DEA, DPS Colonel, Sheriffs, Police Chiefs, I go on and on, U.S. Marshals, everybody comes together about every couple months, and then we talk about operations in Arizona, not just Cochise County. I chair that committee right now for the state. The way it works is got to be a sheriff, and then the vice chair is a federal agent leader, and then we switch it every year. So right now it's my turn in the barrel, but we had the meeting. I hosted it here on Monday, and nice turnout. We had Fort Huachuca there talking about their operations up on Fort Huachuca with our federal partners. But it's just, we have put Cochise County on the map in so many ways when it comes to the innovation and not the complaints. We all can talk about complaints, but the successes that we have put forward. So I'm very excited in regards to what we're doing here in Cochise County and our partnership, state, local, and federal, to make this a better place to live and a better state for all of us.
And the education continues, too. Even this week, there was a human trafficking class.
Yeah, I spoke in that class this week. And welcome everybody to the class, and these are law enforcement at the local level. You know, human trafficking is thrown around. It's like a rubber ball. It's just thrown around. People talk about it, catch it. You know, at the end of the day, is we have to get better at recognizing that. We have a human trafficking component within the Border Center that's under a grant, free of charge. It doesn't cost us anything, but that's networked throughout the United States. So this team of experts, and to include one of my sergeants, actually put on the class. And so they talked about signs and symptoms of human trafficking, what to look for, what is human trafficking versus smuggling, all the things that we take for granted. But like I said in my opening, I'll say it here, everything we're doing on this border is saving lives. It's about saving lives and protecting people. And as long as we keep doing that, I'll argue all day that what we do is for the right reason.
And another project that we have going on that is no cost, and people don't understand. They're thinking somewhere there's got to be a hidden, dollar bill that we have to fork over. But in this instance, we have a drone project from Dragonfly. We put out press releases. You're going to see that a lot in the news if you haven't already. One of the things that helps with is just combating criminal activity. And even though we are on the border and it can be border centric, it really will be full stop on trying to address criminal activity and what we have going on.
It's another tool for law enforcement. It truly is. And Arizona passed a law that we can disable drones that are flying for criminal acts. And we could bring those drones down. It's a national approach too. But Arizona stepped up. We passed that law, and now we have that where we can bring a drone down for all the right reasons. Not because we don't like drones, because they are harming America, bringing drugs across, bringing explosive across, whatever it may be. So this is the new technology that we're partnered with on a test and evaluation purpose, which is costing us nothing, like as Carol said, is something they were working on this week. They were on the border this week as they developed this program, how it fits best into Cochise County. We were picked, 3,000 plus sheriff's offices, and we were picked to be the partner in this, and that comes with a perk. It comes with a compliment, the fact that we're already doing so many innovative things. They see that we don't talk about it, we action it. And so that's why they wanted to partner with us. So again, we're excited about it. We're excited to showcase it as it continues, and it kicked off this week here in Cochise County. So I got to see those folks too. Very excited about that.
And they're made in the United States.
Yes. So anybody out there saying, "Oh, these are Chinese," wow, no, they're not. They're actually made in the United States. It's a great company. They're friends of law enforcement. They're friends of America. Trust me, we do a lot of thinking before we come out and push things forward. Do we make mistakes? Of course we do, but we're very good about how we roll out innovation.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, what is your stop of the week?
Very simply, and we see so much of it, people buy cars every day. This is absent a dealership. When you buy a car from a dealership, one of the implied things that you get is a temporary registration. And they put a little white sticker on your car and you're covered until you get your permanent plate. When you buy it from a private party, that's not the case. So when you buy a car, you cannot drive that car around. I made a stop this week where there was no registration on the back of this car. No paper I could see. And by the way, if you do have a paper plate, you got to put it where it's visible. Put it in behind a tinted window. Good chance you'll get stopped. And then they get upset. Why you stopped me? You got to have a visible, legible plate that can be read by law enforcement. And that's to your benefit. That's truly to your benefit. In this case, the made the stop. She had just bought the car. Well, yeah, I'm going to get over and get the registration. There is no exemption that you can buy a car in Arizona from a private party and not have registration on it and drive. You have to take that title, that signed over title or documentation, and take it to motor vehicle, get your registration, and then you can drive it. But you can't just keep driving around like, I'm going to get it. If that was the case, nobody would get it. Because everybody, I'm going to get it tomorrow. I'm going to get it tomorrow. So please, and here's what I tell people all the time. Go online to your ADOT account. Most of them have online accounts. Get a 3-day permit, and you'll be fine. It costs like $5 to $10. It's very cheap, and it keeps it legal that way.
And one of the things that you've consistently said on this show and throughout your interactions in the community is safety for people running yellow lights. And we've had so many accidents in Sierra Vista, and it's attributed to people just trying to, quickly get from point A to point B, whether it's, on your cell phone, whether it's, distracted in some other way, or whether it's you just trying to beat the meter. I don't know what it is, but, you have to encourage people to please not do that.
So true on that, Carol. And by the way, I have a cold, so if I sound like my voice is getting deeper, it's because I got a cold. It's all that traveling here. I think it's catching up with me. When you fly the germ tanks of America, I mean, that's really what they are. So it caught me finally. But long story short, you are right on that. And people just need to slow down and pay attention. They really do. And here's an example, another example where this week, inattention gets us every time. And when we see people, again, it's illegal to have a phone in your hand. You navigate a phone in your hand, that's illegal. We had a situation this week where a deputy was pulled off the road in a brand new truck that we just got it on the road, took it off a grant. It's a grant truck, which means we got this through our state. Just got it equipped, got it out there, low miles, of course, sitting along the highway, and a guy coming down the road, and his dog jumped in his lap. He looked down to address the dog and sideswiped the patrol sheriff's car. Yes, and so please, if you're going, and people, we've stopped people with dogs in their laps. Everybody thinks, oh, it's just nice. It is nice. I get it. I'm a huge animal lover, but you got to have the restraints and disciplines when you drive a motor vehicle, because you're responsible for that 3,000-pound weapon going down the road. And when a dog, especially a big dog, we see it all the time. With the head out the window, who's driving? The dog or the human? But we want to make sure everybody's safe on that. So please, that's an example where inattention or an animal took control and caused an accident.
And Douglas is also working on a case that happened earlier this week where a woman had a small child in the car, texting and driving, and just ran right into the back of a pickup truck and injured. Like, that baby had to be checked out, and they actually arrested her. So it's that serious, people. Just please pay attention.
Pay attention and just slow down and breathe. And I know it's easy to say. I'm probably the fastest person when it comes to moving around. And I would say that's speeding purposes. I'm talking about just getting things done. But we got to breathe out there a little bit and stuff too. And the other thing, since we're talking safety, and it's all about the heat too right now. The heat is up there, man. I mean, it's 99 degrees, 100 degrees to again today, and children in the backseat of cars. That's a hot issue. And I don't mean it's kind of a pun the way I say it like that, but seriously, that's a deadly issue. So please don't leave your kids in the car, especially the little ones. I mean, that will be charged. Like you say, this lady was charged. We will charge you on that. I mean, we've got to be responsible adults.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thanks, Grady. Thanks, Carol. Thanks, everyone. See you next week.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. But right now, let's get back into our interviews. We've got Melanie from the Sierra Vista Chamber of Commerce, which is now
the Sky Islands Regional Partnership.
All right, so you're going to talk about the whole entire year, what you guys have got coming up. So grab your calendars because you're going to want to write these dates down, especially like we're going to mention when the Christmas parade is. So we're going to go all the way that far. So let's start off with what your closest event is.
Our closest event now is going to be Connect and Network, and this is something we do in partnership with the Douglas Business Network and the BBB of Southern Arizona. We do this every year, and it's a mixer. It's a networking mixer in Bisbee. Bisbee doesn't have a chamber, so we like to go there and try and support their businesses and their community. So that'll be July 18th at 6 o'clock p.m. at the Old Bisbee Brewing Company. So come on out. There's no registration for this. You can just come on out, join us. We're going to have some networking fun out there, and we'll have some snacks and, a cash bar, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So come on out and get some networking in Bisbee.
And speaking of networking, one of my favorite events that you guys put on every year is the Expo, because you find out what this community has to offer.
So many local businesses, and that's who we want to support, obviously. So shop local, but come on out, and we have such a variety of vendors at the Expo, and we do it every year. And so this year it's going to be August 23rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the mall at Sierra Vista, and we have vendors signing up already, and that's kind of why we want to talk about these events, because registration is open, and so the prices are the same as they've been like the last 3 years. And so please make sure you jump on early. We'll get your spot reserved for you, and but if you're last minute, you kind of end up down at the end. So we want you to have that great spot. So please jump on skyislandsrp.com and go to our calendar, and you can click on the Expo and get registered right there.
And what's cool about that one is there's everything from after-school programs to medical to retirement to martial arts. I mean, it's all there.
It's all there. And so if you're curious, I mean, obviously we invite chamber members and non-members to participate, to be vendors. And so, but we have a lot of fun things going on. So all of you out there that aren't interested in being a vendor but you want to come, we have a lot of fun things. Like we'll have SSVEC out there with their really cool truck in the parking lot, and they show you how electricity works. It's really interesting. But we'll have a lot going on that day, so we want everybody to come out. But if you want to be a vendor, you need to jump on and get registered for that.
All right, well, good morning, Sierra Vista. You have those throughout the year. When's the next one coming?
So we have 4 of those. We just had one. We'll have another one coming up September 9th at 7 o'clock in the morning, and that takes place at the Student Union at Cochise College in Sierra Vista. And it is just a great morning thing to do. You can do it. We get you done so you can get to work by 9. And we always have updates from the county and the surrounding cities and towns. And so it's a great place to show up, have breakfast, do some networking, learn what's going on in southeastern Arizona, all around southeastern Arizona, and then hear from our keynote speaker.
And then the fall coming up, you've got your golf scramble. You do that every year as well.
We do, and so that is going to be October 10th, and that'll be at the Sierra Vista Golf Center at Pueblo del Sol. So there's always a lot of fun things that we have, like Longest Drive and, things like that are going to be going on with their new setup over there. So it's going to be fun. Anybody can join in, so registration is open for that as well. And those funds go to support the Sky Islands Regional Partnership, and we are a nonprofit. And so we would love to have you come out and have just a great day with us. And I just have to throw out, it is a Friday, and so we kind of do that a little bit on purpose so that you can say, hey, I'm going to network, and kind of have the the day off of work and golf, but you can still get paid, right? So that is October 10th, and registration is open for that.
And then also you have Bring a Vet to Lunch coming up.
We do. That'll be November 5th at 11:30 a.m. And that one is, you can purchase a table, and for every table, 2 of those seats are donated to our veterans. So we go to our assisted living facilities. We invite our veterans from there. Our active duty and retired veterans are all attend for free. And so this is a great way to get your name out there, to sponsor if you'd like, and support our veterans in our community.
And then it's July, and it seems way too early to talk about Christmas, but Christmas will be here by tomorrow, I think.
I think so.
Let's talk about
feels
the
that
Christmas
way.
parade.
So this year is going to be our 66th annual Christmas parade, and we've got the longest running Christmas parade in Arizona. We're excited. Every year we have a theme, and so this year our theme is a Sky Islands Christmas. So what you want to think is cactus, snow-capped mountains, so our Sky Islands are so unique here, and it's just beautiful. And so we really want to see how you celebrate and how your business celebrates the holidays and celebrates Christmas. So start thinking about that right now. Registration is open. Once it closes, it closes. We cannot take any more registrations after it closes. So start thinking about it now and get registered as soon as possible.
And are you doing the Santa Fly-In again this year?
We are. Oh, but I forgot to tell you, December 6th is the actual parade.
Okay, December 6th.
And so, yes, and it'll start at 5:30 p.m. It's at night. It's a lighted parade. And so that's December 6th. But please make sure you start thinking about your Sky Island Christmas. If you need more information, there is more information on our website if you need some ideas. So just go to skyislandsrp.com and check it out in our calendar. And then, yes, of course, the Santa Fly-In will be the next Saturday in December. So it's on December 13th. Santa and Mrs. Claus fly in an air evac helicopter, and they land in the Cow Ranch parking lot. It's a free event. It's a lot of fun. We always have the fire department is out there, and so bring your kids out. They get to go and see Santa and Mrs. Claus inside Cow Ranch, and they can climb around in the helicopter and the fire trucks, and it's just a great fun morning.
So all the stuff that we just talked about, registration is open. How do they register? What website do they need to go to get in on all of this?
So please go to skyislandsrp.com. Click on our calendar. All of these events are on the calendar. You'll see a little button for each one that says register. So you just register right there.
All right, so everybody go get to that website, start registering, and even though it's too early for Christmas, go ahead and register for the Christmas parade. It'll be here before you know it.
Please do. It will be here before you know it. And we wanted to open up the registration early this year so that everybody who's going to be in the parade has time to really think about what do they want to do and start preparing those floats in advance.
I love it. Well, thanks for coming and talking to us today, and thanks for everything you do for our business community.
And thank you.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. Keep up to date. Follow the Cochise County Sheriff's Office on Facebook, and tune in next Friday, 7 a.m. for First Watch right here on KWCD.